So a very good morning to our viewers. My name is Soumitra Dasgupta and I'm part of the Nasscom PR communications team. So we have been doing leadership interviews with the top industry leaders for many years now. The intent is really to get their deep insights on their particular industry verticals and some of the rich experience that they bring in, which can also be shared and by their industry counterparts. So with that, today we have Mr. Agendra Kumar. He is the president of Esri India Technologies Limited. He joined Esri India in 2013. Under his leadership, the company has partnered with many government and private organizations to execute numerous transformative projects in using Esri's GSI software. As an industry leader, Esri India plays a key role in defining the adoption of latest GIS technology in the country. Mr. Kumar is also the president of the Association of Geospatial Industries. His career started with the Indian IT sector in 1984, and later he served as the country head for Silicon Graphics and Veritas Software. He was also the director of global accounts for Semantics, Asia Pacific, and Japan business, and was based in Singapore. Mr. Kumar received his MSc honors in mathematics and Masters of Management MMS degree from BITS Pilani. Today we have with us a very interesting topic, which is geo-enabled applications and how it is the next big wave for the IT industry. So, Mr. Kumar, if you're ready, we will kick off right away.
Yeah, sure. Soumitra, go ahead.
So the first segment is about why is GIS location component important and how does it add value in the business application?
Right. See, location plays a very important role in any kind of decisions. And GIS brings that location component into IT or any of the applications which are being used. So bringing together GIS and IT is something which is very, very important. And today, if you look at, most of us use GIS in some form or the other in our personal lives, whether we are trying to go somewhere or we are trying to buy something or we are trying to find a restaurant or anything. So we are using a map, and because that map has a lot of information, it's a kind of your GIS which you are using as a person. And now when we are using this in a personal life, it becomes very important to use the same thing in our business life, in our organizational life, or whatever work we do, whatever profession we have. And believe me, it's relevant in every single area of our economy or businesses or whatever people do, because location is all pervasive. Everything that we deal with has a location. And it's important to, if we bring that location inside our applications, the kind of new insights that we discover are not possible without that. And that's the reason why it's important to get GIS in our business applications as well, and make sure that decision makers have better information available to them for making decisions. So that's how I think I look at it, about getting GIS into a variety of applications.
Right. So that's very interesting and informative. With that, we move to the next segment, which is about how much is geospatial market, is the valuation of the geospatial market and how fast is it growing and what kind of opportunities do ISVs have?
Okay, so geospatial market is first of all, it's a global phenomena that is growing. It's not growing only in, say, US or Europe. It's growing everywhere, including India. And we've seen a average growth rate of about 13%. CAGR is 13.4%. That's what the industry statistics provide us. And with that kind of a CAGR, it's a very promising field for people to invest their time and bring out applications and start playing a role in the geospatial segment. So geospatial segment traditionally has been, it started with mapping. And when you start something, you first thing that comes for mapping is the mapping of land assets. So whether it's cadastre or it's city land, which is used for housing, so those maps are very critical, and this is something where these maps get updated periodically. So government has spent a lot of money in updating these maps. So the land is a state subject. So various state governments have programs wherein they do land records management, which deals more with rural land, and that's the place where some niche ISVs have been playing a very key role, because they understand how the land management works at the state level, and each state has slightly different way to manage lands. So many companies have understood how they manage their cadastral maps, and how do they take care of mutations and other transactions which are happening on the land, and how they keep records, and they sort of build applications which they offer to different states. Uh, then similarly at the city level, there are opportunities there in terms of property tax collection. So there also a mapping of all the land which is available, including capturing the buildings which have been built, and what area has been covered, and how the city level taxation happens, so that there are many companies who are operating there. Now, these are some very, very initial areas. But if we look at how this market has evolved and grown, it has grown because over the years, this GIS technology became very, very popular. It became uh, people started looking at GIS as a tool for making better decisions and managing automated workflows. So when you look at workflows and you bring geospatial component along with that, the power of the workflow becomes much higher. And there are companies who specialize in that area. They help organizations build GIS based workflows, and that's a good area to be in. Then there are other areas like utilities for electric, water, gas distribution. So these are the areas where there's a huge potential for ISVs, and there are some ISVs, but this market is really large, and this market is transforming very fast. We've seen that over the years, various electricity distribution companies have made investments in upgrading their IT infrastructure, and they brought in GIS as a fairly important backbone of their updation of technologies. So today, most of the electric distribution companies in the country are using GIS, which means they've got all the assets on a GIS platform. They are managing all the transactions through GIS. They update the records periodically, and they are able to improve their services to customers, and they're also able to reduce the distribution losses. So that's a very important thing. But now there'll be a time when the applications which have been built over last 10 years, they are about to come for updation. So new technology has come in, new electric energy network, utility network has come in, and there's a need for updation. So that will also present a huge opportunity for ISVs. Apart from that, we've seen government announced program for city gas distribution, and many companies have come up in that area. All of them require applications for managing their assets and managing the distribution of gas, and then CRM and all those applications along with that. Uh, and the next wave which is going to come is about water distribution. Unfortunately, water distribution is an area in where not much investment has taken place in terms of GIS or automation. It's still working in a very I would say classical manner without much of technology coming in. But some cities have adopted technology in water distribution. I'll give example of Orange City Water, and something in Bangalore, something in Delhi Jal Board. And there are many other cities where work has been done. But India is a huge country. We have so many cities, and it's an enormous opportunity in terms of water distribution. Then municipal applications are also important, because there is a huge focus given by government, and that's also need of the hour, that the life in cities has to be improved, because today citizens want a better living condition. They want better sanitation, they want better safety and security. They want better drainage system. They want better roads. They want better street lighting. So all these are municipal functions which have which use GIS technologies, and there are many cities under Smart City program or other programs who have started adopting GIS, and they have benefited a lot out of those investments. But there's an opportunity to go back to every other city which is not even a part of 100 Smart City project, and encourage them to improve. And that's a desire coming from many city management of many cities also, that they want to make investments and they want to bring technology to improve the life of citizens. There's a change in the feeling that they want to treat citizen like a consumer, like a customer, and they want to improve their customer services. So that's another area. So these are some of the verticals where I see immediate opportunities where ISVs can play a role. Roads and highway sector is another one. Ports is another sector where there's a lot of investments coming up now. And in India, we have more than a dozen ports, and it's a fairly big opportunity. In ports, asset management is an application. Better land management is an application, because most of the ports have fairly large amount of land. And there are similar applications which are relevant for railways, and there is some amount of work already going on in railways, but the potential is quite huge. So these are some of the vertical areas. And if we look at opportunities in the horizontal way, I would like to talk about two segments. One is the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence. These are upcoming technologies. GIS already has a lot of machine learning built into many popular GIS softwares, and it's time that we start looking at amalgamation of upcoming technologies with GIS, so that we can build applications where a lot of automation can come, and that automation will only help us in getting more benefit, more results out of the applications. These are possible in agriculture, these are possible in water area, these are possible in better traffic management. So all those in these areas we can bring in the technologies of AI and ML for improved applications. And second important thing is going to be in terms of image processing. So image processing is a very important part of geospatial solutions, and there are various kind of images which are captured, starting from satellite imagery, which has been there for a few decades. And then there's aerial imagery, which is captured by flying aircraft. And the most popular nowadays is the imagery which is captured by flying drones, because that's cheaper. The results come out faster, and it can be done for smaller areas versus as well as larger areas. So there's a huge amount of flexibility which is available through drone technology. So these so getting variety of images is only going to help us build more powerful applications, because now we can get data at a cheaper price point and in a much shorter time frame. So that can be built into the geospatial applications for better, I would say, better visualization, better management, better understanding, better change detection over a period of time. So that's another important technology. And I mean, few as a part of industry as well as a part of AGI, we've been trying to work with government in bringing more friendly policies for both geospatial data as well as the image data. And I'm happy to say that there's been significant progress in that area. In fact, recently announced a draft of remote sensing and space policy, which is up for comments until 11th of December. But they have taken some lot of good steps in that policy. They are proposing that imagery up to 5-meter resolution should be free and freely available, which is a very positive sign. And they're also removing a lot of restrictions which were earlier there for higher resolution imagery up to 50 centimeters. So they are removing restrictions. So these changes will go a long way. And similarly, there are discussions going on, very serious discussions for the other geospatial data policies. So these things are going to be big enablers. And when the government is supportive and they come out with more friendlier policies, ISVs have more opportunity because now availability of data will become much easier. The cost of data will come down, and the restrictions will go away, which will make building applications and delivering to customers will make it easier.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Kumar. You gave some really powerful examples and brought to the fore why the sector is growing at more than 13%, which is actually 13.4% is actually much higher than the overall IT sector's growth. So that's really, really, really great. So with that, we move to the third segment. Is that what are the technology trends that you see which are converging with GIS?
All right. So there are a number of, see, GIS is working very close to the IT trends today. So when you look at what is new in IT, I mean, big data is not so new, but still upcoming. IoTs, I mentioned about drones and lidar. Lidar is another area which is upcoming. Machine learning, blockchain, and a lot of geospatial applications are being put on cloud now because it makes the price point come down, and it makes it easier to integrate variety of data if applications are hosted on cloud. Kubernetes is coming here, and then I mean a lot of mobile technology. See, today most of the GIS applications can be run through mobile, and mobile has become a part of all the complex, I would say most of the complex applications. I spoke about utility domain, whether I talk about roads and highways, or I talk about city management. Uh, while on one side we will have web GIS applications, on the other we will have smaller applications for data capture and and the ground level, field level management, which will happen through mobile devices. So I think these two, and we see similar trend in IT also. There is a bunch of mobile applications, and all the new and upcoming technologies are coming in various IT applications as well. So these two are coming together. Integration with other IT popular IT applications like SAP or other ERP systems, or different databases like Oracle or SQL or whatever. I think those connectors have already been there for quite some time, and it's very easy to integrate GIS with a host of business applications, CRM applications, productivity applications, ERP applications. So there's a close association out there. So typically what happens is that data can seamlessly pass from a business application to a GIS application, and vice versa. Now, if you look at any organization, most of the data that an organization would have will have a geospatial component, a GIS component attached. Very simple data like employee database. Everybody has a office location. They have a home location, and such data became very important. It came very handy while dealing with the COVID situation. I mean, companies, businesses could quickly see that where do people live and where do they work, and how do you, if people have to travel, how can they avoid red zones and travel if required, and all those kind of information could be done, and how some people can be brought to office, and how things can be shipped to their residences, like delivering hardware. Suddenly when the lockdown was announced, a lot of companies made use of mapping technology to ensure that they are able to locate their employees and deliver hardware to them if required. Then businesses have location of their vendors, their customers. So if you want to run a new marketing program, and if you have all the customers on a map, then it becomes visually so easy to see and make some decisions. And such decisions are very commonly made by banks and financial institutions and large, say, white good companies, because they need to sometimes decide where to open a new store. So if they can get some data about demography of a particular area, and some parameters like the income levels and education level and kind of housing people have, based on that they can understand that what kind of demand is going to be there, and appropriately open the stores. So whether it's for distribution of automobile or white goods, or setting up a new ATM, or opening a new branch, or setting up a new coffee shop. I think in all those areas, uh, GIS comes very handy along with the business applications in making decisions. So that's how I think these two are coming together, and GIS is sort of becoming like a driver for creating new business applications and bringing geo enablement into those applications to meet the market demand and the new business challenges.
Right. So, how is your company? How does Esri collaborate with the ISVs? If you can share some insights, please.
Yeah. So Esri focuses a lot on partnerships. Globally, we have thousands of partners, and in India also we have a few hundred partners. Why we need those partners? Because we are a technology company,
Yeah.
right? And we need partners to provide the entire solution to customers. So given that we started a couple of programs in the country, we had a startup program which we started 3 or 4 years ago, and I mean, there was a wave of new startups in the country, and we also played a very important role, and we have close to 100 startup companies who are building their product using our technology as a part of the whole thing. And the second area where we focused was the ISVs, because in India, uh, India is the software hub, is a global software hub, and there are many companies today in India who like to, instead of just doing software services, they're getting into creating a product, because that's the second area where India is going to play a huge role, and it's already playing a role, creating software IP software products which can be sold the world over. So we have few ISVs as a part of our ISV initiative. I believe there are more than 30 companies in that segment as well. And these are ISVs who are working with us for last couple of years, and they have built something using our technology, and they've started selling. Some of them have started selling also. So when we work with a startup with a ISV, we try to sort of understand that what is their focus area, in which area they are trying to build their product, and we've been very successful in some areas like road-based applications and port applications and some of the construction-related applications. So these are some of the areas where we have seen some initial success in terms of getting business IoT integration for a variety of applications. So then when we look at them, then we understand that, right, it's a right kind of a product where our technology can benefit. We have good discussion, understand how we can collaborate. And we've also built a backend team of technical experts to support ISVs in the initial period, because till ISV becomes well versed with our software and they are able to integrate and start using, they need some hand holding, and we have people. And we don't charge for that hand holding. We sort of year or so on and off as required in understanding their technology. If they have any questions, if they hit any roadblocks, our people will guide them in how to use that. And then we also sometimes we invite both our startups and ISV to be part of our marketing events, because they're a partner, they're a business partner for us. So we treat them as our own brothers and sisters, and we invite them to be a part of our marketing events. Esri India holds a user conference every year, and several of them are given booths, or sometimes we invite VC companies to look at their applications and see if they would like to fund. So we put a lot of emphasis on building stronger partnerships with ISV companies to ensure that they get all the opportunities to be successful with our technology, and I think that's helping us quite a lot in building a healthy ecosystem, and also a collaborative atmosphere with the ISVs who are adopting our technology.
Right. So that's a really deep down on the collaboration part of it. So can you give some examples of how ISVs are benefiting from by enabling the GIS applications?
Right. So ISVs are benefiting. I think why anybody does anything, because it's a business, right? You ultimately you want to grow your revenue, you want to grow your profits, and you want to achieve something. So these are some of the objectives why somebody gets into business. And because we have our technology is being used in very wide areas, in many segments, so it opens a lot of doors for ISVs, which otherwise probably will take longer time for them. So starting from some of the government-centric applications, uh, like uh, water resources or forest resources, mining, roads and highways, uh, uh, energy, and then healthcare, agriculture. These are some of the government areas where there are plenty of new applications which are required. uh, I mean, healthcare has, we have all realized that healthcare is an area where there's more technology required going forward. I mean, the recent challenge has made us learn hard realities of life, that healthcare segment has not used technology to the level it should have. And I think government is very open, and they are considering new technologies to come in that segment. Agriculture is another area where there's a huge potential to bring technology, not only IT but also GIS also, or rather I should put it other way, not only GIS but IT also. So see,
Yeah.
in agriculture, GIS plays a very important role because I mean there are so many applications there, and like how do you decide what kind of crop should be cultivated in what area, uh, how to reduce the cost of agriculture, how to reduce the consumption of water in agriculture, how to benefit with the and avoid irrigation when the rain is about to happen. So how do you provide the weather forecast to farmers? Okay, how do you provide locust warning to the farmer? So I think there are a lot of GIS applications possible there. Then in urban development, there are many applications possible. Then I mentioned about utilities. Telecom is another area where telecom and fiber networks. These are two areas where there's a huge potential of coming up with new applications, and countries making big investments in these areas. And then variety of business applications. See, when we look at commercial segment from Esri, we have identified four major areas in commercial segment: BFSI, manufacturing, retail, and real estate. So these are four segments where we see a lot of requirement for GIS solutions, and a lot of applications requirement. And I mean, in manufacturing, there are some very key areas where ISVs play a very important role in building applications and supporting both small and medium enterprises as well as large companies in improving in bringing better operational efficiency and reducing the cost of operations. Uh, and uh, and similarly in retail, starting from site selection to merchandising to restocking, and also in terms of logistics, there are plenty of applications, and there is a lot of scope for ISVs to come in and provide solutions in that area. Uh, so these are some of the applications where ISVs can play a very important role in building applications and supporting customer base.
Right. So, with that, Mr. Kumar, we come to the final segment of our discussion. You've already touched upon most of the points, but the final thing is how do you support startups and they being the future ISVs? You've already spoken about it, but if there are some points you'd like to add further.
Right. So a couple of things which I would like to add here is that, see, first of all, uh, uh, our technology is something which helps them in integrating a variety of data. So all kind of data can be integrated using GIS, or our GIS, which is ArcGIS, and whether it is satellite data or any real-time data which is coming from a particular system, those data sets can be easily brought into a GIS system. and built in and integrated with the applications. Our software has built-in algorithms for machine learning and artificial intelligence, so it's easier to use those algorithms and build variety of applications in that area. There are built-in features for creating dashboards. Today, people want to see senior leadership in any company, or decision makers want to see data coming on the dashboard, so they don't have to struggle. So there are a number of techniques, there are a number of facilities available for creating dashboards. We have a huge uh, mobile offering. Like we have tools for creating mobile applications and also already custom built mobile applications which can be modified to suit various requirements. So that's a very powerful side, and running analytics is quite easy with our solution. A different kind of analytics and also integration of big data in wherever required can also be done in very easily. Second important thing, when a ISV tries to build an application, they want it to be open. They don't want to really get confined to a particular closed kind of a system. So ArcGIS is the open platform. So it follows all the popular standards, whether it's OGC standards or ISO standards or security standards. So all those standards, it follows all the standards. We have a lot of open APIs to integrate with different other different systems. We have Python API, JavaScript API, different variety of plugins. Uh, Esri as a company is a great supporter of open technologies. So we offer a set of applications through GitHub, uh, which can be used for a variety of purposes. So there are few hundred applications available, and these are available also in a source code form. So a partner can download the application and use it for to recreate something and offer to their customers and bring down the time for delivery by using that. And then I mentioned about open science like Python and integration of R and Scikit and PyTorch and we talk about Jupyter notebooks, and so all those technologies can easily be integrated in our platform, which makes it easier for ISVs to stay at the highest curve of the technological development. And Esri as a company invests quite heavily in R&D. Something like close to 30% of our revenue is invested in R&D every year. Which gives a sort of assurance that Esri will keep coming up with new and latest products which will conform to the state of the art technology which is prevalent at any given point in time. And we update our products a couple of times every year so that we are able to provide the latest to our users. So when we look at ISVs, apart from what I have already said, ISVs get access to a large market in India and globally. We have close to 5,000 customers in the country, and we have close to 350,000 customers across the world. SD operates in almost every country, so it's a huge market which is open available to them. We also have what we call a marketplace where applications can be hosted for sale, for people can download from there and pay the price if it's so. We also so that's a kind of a e-commerce platform being made available to ISVs. Then through all the tools and techniques that we have, we make it easier for our GIS to get integrated with the ISV solutions. And it helps them in enhancing the user experience and creating better value for their customers. Because customers can get more insight in their data, can make better decisions, can plan their workflows better. It helps them in getting more value, and also it creates a big differentiation because other your competitor may not have a GIS integration, but if you offer something, the customers will probably prefer that. And then it's a long-term relationship that we build with our ISVs, and so that they benefit as the technology improves. So we have a lot of programs running. We've been conducting webinars. Every year we conduct a developers conference so that all the developers get to learn about new technologies, new tools which are coming. And by doing all this, we help our ISVs in being more competitive in their marketplace.
Excellent. Thanks so much. I mean, 30% of revenue in R&D is a great number, and that is so inspiring. So, with that, Mr. Kumar, on behalf of NASCOM, I would like to thank you for your time. It has really been a very enlightening discussion. You've touched upon so many different areas, and look forward to having more such conversations in future. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you,
supporting
Sumit.
NASCOM in
Yeah.
all our ventures.
Thank you, Soumitra, and thank you, Nasscom, for inviting me for this short talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.